rooms. Like I hate it very much.
I know because I used to. I
Yeah.
used to where I remember that it was really difficult, especially extras. You know, I remember that especially extras when I was in high school. So, but you know, there was no choice, no other choice. So we have to. It's like, you know, you have to. So what's better?
Yeah.
Just take it easy. Well, okay. Tell me about English. So how long have you learned English? And tell me about, as I know, you're going to sit for an IELTS test, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so tell me, how long have you spent learning English?
Well, I have been learning English since I was in kindergarten,
Great.
and in like grade 10, I started to practice IELTS,
Great.
and
Of
yeah,
course. And have you ever taken in the IELTS test? I think
yes,
yes. Yeah,
yes,
and your score, your band was 7?
no, 6.
6. It's okay. So, okay, 6 and 7. So no worry, you will get higher than 7. So don't worry about it because you're good. You're good. Okay, and as I know, you're going to focus on speaking skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just speaking. Yeah?
Oh, I thought we were gonna like
Yeah.
writing and speaking.
Reading and speaking, because you know I want to be sure. So reading and
Right,
speaking,
writing.
writing. Okay, of course, writing and speaking. So of course, well, that's great. Okay, so and may I know your scores in writing and speaking?
They both 6.
Oh, it's good. So it's good. No worries. Okay, very good. Well, and tell me a bit about your personality. So actually, I'm asking you a few questions because I need to know your level. Of course, I know that you are, and actually your level of proficiency is really good level, so it's okay. Just actually, I'm trying to be more familiar with you, so to know you a little bit more. So tell me about your personality, how you can describe yourself.
Mm, I see myself as like introvert. I tend to not to like talk to any like new strangers. I rather talk with my close friends or people that I have known before. And every time I talk to strangers, it make me feel very awkward to talk with them, and I cannot like have any like topic to talk with them. So the conversations will be very boring.
Yeah, of course, got it. So first of all, so maybe the first lesson that I can teach you here is especially because this is speaking IELTS, so why not? So as you know, in speaking IELTS, you can use some idioms, not overuse. So you know that not overuse, but using of idioms can boost your score. So when you say that, I normally tend to stay, for example, in my room, or I don't want to talk to people a lot. So how to say? So you can say, I like, or I keep myself to myself. I would prefer to keep myself to myself. It's like, you know, just okay, staying maybe in my room and spending time with my books, reading, listening, okay, like this. Because I think you are not a social butterfly. So we have some people like, yeah, you know, they like to socialize. I don't know, talking to people and making friends. So it's like they're social butterflies. You are not. So you're not, I don't know, a social butterfly. So tell me, and we have another one, another phrase that is people person. So I'm not a people person. What is that? I'm not the one for talking and being with people a lot. So I'm not a people person. Like, you know, with people talking to people I don't know. So there are different phrases that you can use. Okay, well, let's talk about the books that you have studied or so tell me because as I check your profiles, the information about you, I realized that you started or you want to study mindset. So do you know these books, mindset books? Do you know them? Have you started before?
No.
Okay, so that's great because you know that mindset books, of course, we have different resources, variants, not only mindset. So they are one of them. So really good books, especially so because we have starter 1, 2, and 3. That is the final book. So and you need to study the final book because of course you're ready for the final book, and we add some extra materials like and I have another book. Let me show you these two books. This one that is essential word trials. So let me show you. Okay, how about this one, Baron's essential word trials? Do you know this book?
Never heard it before.
It's okay, no worries. So this one and okay, this one, that is, let me show you this book, Mindsets, okay, by Cambridge, and Mindset for IELTS. So another book that I think is not bad to study together. Of course, if you have any idea about the material that you want to, for example, you studied before or you like to study, you can say, why not? So what do you think?
But
Okay, well. So, well, let's keep going. Okay, tell me about your favorite color.
oh, mm, well, I usually wear black as my favorite. Wear black as like every style of clothes that I wear because it is my favorite color. And the reason why I like it a lot is because it's easy to like match with outfit.
Yeah,
Like
combine it. Of course, I do agree with you. It's really easy to combine it and with different items, like and colors, of course. So I do agree with you. So you don't need to take risk. So you always, I
yeah,
think it's really, I don't know, black items are really smart, I think. You know that's actually they complete your style and I like it. So very, but you're too young to wear only black. So you need to wear different colors. So young, so beautiful, and you need to wear a lot of different colors. Oh, so cute, and you're so calm. That is really good. Do you have any best friends?
well, yes. I have one best friend, and have been best friends for like 16 years.
Oh, wow. It's been a long time. It's been ages.
Yeah,
16. So since, I think, maybe since you were 2, right? Or
like
since you were born. You
one
were
or two
born
years.
because, I don't know how young you are now because of this. I said since you were born or since you were 2, right?
Yeah.
2-year-old. Yeah, great. So someone from neighborhood?
No, she is the daughter of my dad's friends.
Ah, that's just perfect. That's really good. Well, okay, my beautiful Jessie. So first of all, let's have a look at this book together. So
Hmm.
let's see. As you can see, this book consists of 4 skills: reading, writing, and speaking and listening. So, and every unit, as you can see, one topic and different, as you can see. So the topic, urban and rural life, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So we ignore reading and listening, and we only focus on writing and speaking. But as I told you, there are a lot about IELTS that I will teach you. It's not only about the book, because you need to, you have taken the IELTS test and you know that IELTS is natural speaking. And so it's better to learn how to speak naturally. So you know that, for example, unfortunately, there is a misunderstanding about IELTS speaking, especially. Most of candidate thinks that, okay, let's use a lot of advanced C2, C1 vocabulary so that we can boost. No, not at all. Because I want to ask you, we are native. So do you think we use a lot of C2 or advanced vocabulary when talking? In
No.
everyday life, of course, no. Of course, in IELTS, you show your vocabulary research, you show your ability,
Mhm.
but not in complex way, confusing way. No, just easy and natural. Okay, well, so reading and writing. So writing, so we will start with task 1 and then task 2, listening and speaking. Wow. So first of all, let's start talking about some, of course, general questions. So you know, definitely you know this word. So just I want to ask you and you tell me. So you know that how long does the full speaking test last?
11 to 14 minutes.
Yeah, okay, 11 to 14 minutes. And for part 1, for each question, how much time to spend? Ideal time for each question in part 1 of speaking, you know?
Mm, mm, no.
It's about to, of course, there is no time limit, but I don't want to say, okay, but you know that if you talk more than that time, maybe you will be interrupted by the examiner. So it's about maybe 25 to 30 seconds for each question. The ideal time is 25, so that
Mhm.
you can have enough time for each question. And then the next one, in which part, so let me make it a little bigger so that you can see easier. In which part of the test is a two-way discussion with the examiner about abstract issues and ideas?
C.
Definitely yes, part 3. And this one, number 3, the assessment criteria of fluency and coherence relates to
The flow your speech and how connect your idea.
perfect. 4, which part of the test is known as long turn?
Part 2.
Definitely yes, of course yes. And which parts of tests are linked by topic or theme?
Part 2 and 3.
Perfect. And in the assessment criteria, which is indicated by GRA?
Mm, B.
Okay, so this one, grammatical range and accuracy. How much you know. So that is the variety of grammatical structures that use the grammar range and accuracy. And 7, describe the focus of the questions in part 1. So A, B, or C?
A.
Definitely yes. The last one, how long do you get to prepare your answer in speaking part 2?
1 minute.
Great job. So you know. Okay, let's talk. So accommodation, the first part of speaking part 1. So do you live in a house or an apartment?
Well, me and my family has been living in a house for our entire life. It is located in District 7 in Vietnam. Um, like it's like a very common type of accommodations in Vietnam. Like it's the same as the normal house, and it has 2 different floors and with wait, fully oh
So so let's talk about, let's make your answer together, because of course I have no idea about the type of house that you meant, but let's actually talk about it. So you know that you may live in a house, you may live in apartments, or for example, there are different style of or architecture in different countries. So for example, we have detached house, or we have a townhouse, or for example, terrace house. So, but about your area, first of all, apartment or house, which one?
House.
Okay, so house. Now, let me write some words on the board, and then you tell me if you can use them for your answer or no, because I have no idea about your accommodation or your house. And of course you can say it's if it's rented or if it's bought. So because you said it's house, so I want to give you some types of houses. The first one, a detached house. So this is the first one. And the second one, we have a semi-detached. So a semi-detached. Next one. So it's like usually two houses together. Sometimes we say duplex, two houses together, semi-detached. So this one, detached house, just one house without any common wall with neighbors, without. So this is detached. So between these two, no. No. So we have a terraced house. What is this one? Okay, one house connected to many others in the same group, like this. Like there's some, for example, this is one house. There are lots of houses like this one and this one and this one and this one and this one. This is terraced house. So for example, if you travel to London, you see a lot. You see a lot because, you know, normally actually their architecture is the same, like, you know, maybe a terrace house. And we have what? Bungalow. How about this one? You know, a house with only one level, and I like it. It's really good to live. So just one level, and it's house normally. So we have them in countryside or some green spaces. Okay, so which type is your house?
The third one.
The third one, terraced. So the third one is terraced house.
Wait, let me check it again.
Of course. So detached, no neighbor, one. So you normally see in American movies, especially in countryside, one house or garden yard without any common walls. So for example, the next neighbor is far. We have semi-detached. It's like, you know, maybe they have one neighbor, and then again we have some extra areas, and terraced like this house, then this next.
Yeah, my house is like, it's the same as terrace house, but it's not like the same, like how it look.
Yeah, not exactly the same. It's a kind of.
Yeah.
So you can say, okay, well, so how to make your answer for this question? So of course, I'm asking you about the type of accommodation you live in. Maybe what kind of housing or accommodation, both of them. So again, that is really good to mention how long. So for example, for the past 20 years, for the past 18 years, for example, I've been living in a house with my family, okay? And then you can explain, okay, how is it? So you have 2 or 3 lines. For example, I don't know, it's a kind of terrace house, and if you like it or no, you can briefly, not actually giving details. And for example, you can say 2-bedroom. It's a 2-bedroom, 3 bedrooms house. So this way you make your answer, okay? Again, I ask you this question, think about it and make your answer. So what type of accommodation do you live in? So in a house or apartment, just say
Well, since I was born, me and my family have been living in the terrace house located in Duke 7. This house is like have like a lot of beautiful memories with me since I was a little. So I see it as my childhood house. And in my opinion, I think it's a really beautiful house with fully conditions, like fully structures. I don't know. I forgot how to say that word. Like fully things where.
Fully furnished, you mean?
Oh yeah.
Fully furnished. So, yeah, fully. So, when you mean with all appliances,
Mhm.
you mean this, so
Yeah.
everything. So, you can say we have two words. If it's fully furnished, it can be flat, apartment, house, or maybe semi-furnished, half. So it can be again flat, yeah.
Hmm.
If it's, for example, a newly built, so that is really good to know. If it's newly built apartment or house or flat, so you can say, no, it's not, it's an old one, you can say. So for this question, you only need some words and that's it. Okay, so for example, my house, as you said, since it was burned, so I've been living in my house with my family. That is actually maybe an old one, but we have a lot of memories. Yeah, so this way you can answer. Okay, the next question. Okay, if you could choose any country to visit, where would you go and why?
Oh. Um. Korean has been my dream like country to go because of the food industry. Um, when I was living in Vietnam, I always eat Korean foods like with my friends every week because I was obsessed with it. I think also I really like the makeup and the cosmetic in Korea, and I hope I can go to Korea once to try new makeup products and mm, enjoy the cultural.
Ah, of course, very good. So, the local cuisine, do you find really okay? Now you want to talk about food. You really
Mhm.
like it. So normally, what word, what adjective we use? We say delicious, right? But in IELTS, we say delectable. So they're delectable cuisine. That is delectable cuisine. That is really delicious. So of course, if you say delicious, no one say, oh, she said delicious. So let's, for example, okay, maybe it affects your score or maybe like lessen your score. No, but delectable is better alternative. So because of delectable cuisine, variety of flavors and taste, and of course, because of makeup and maybe, yeah, as you said, cosmetic, that is really good. You can mention it. So it would be Korea. Okay, that's perfect. And what are the main issues affecting life in your town? So if there is, oh, let me make it a little bigger so that you can see. What are the main issues affecting life in your town?
Well, like there's some of issues that affecting life in my town, which is in Ho Chi Minh City. One of the most biggest problem is the traffic jams. Every day we have to face um, the traffic issues. So it's caused many problems such as late for work or school,
Yeah.
and it's affect people's feelings. Like it's making us frustrated about everything.
So it's so frustrating being stuck in traffic jam due to heavy traffic jam. So you can talk about it. So you know that. We have another one, get or be. So both of them, stuck in traffic jam. So this is okay. So when you're stuck in traffic jam, and of course you are late for work or for example to go to school, so that is one problem that can affect, okay, or maybe it has big impact or influence on your life. So that is really important for speaking part 1 or 3 or 2. That is cue part, so I'm not going to talk about it. So of course you paraphrase everything for part 2, but about part 1 and part 3, that is really important, Jessie, to paraphrase the examiner's question. What is that? So when I say main issues affecting, you don't repeat it again. Why? For 2 reasons. The first one, you need to show that you completely understood the question. And you know that in part 1, you can't ask any question related to the paraphrasing or the meaning, or for example, ask for clarification, nothing. So it's better to use synonyms, and then you need to use your VR, vocabulary research. That is really important. How many words you know? Oh, I know the synonyms. So why I say effect? I say it has a big, significant, huge impact. So why not? And that is better. They are the same, but yours actually is more professional. It's like, I have my answer. I don't copy yours. I don't use. Of course, first paraphrase, then if you want, in order to avoid repeating, it's okay, you can use them. But at the beginning, please avoid using exactly the same words. Okay? So it has a big impact, big or significant impact on, for example, our lives. Okay, what is that? And I want to say that you're talking, you say, actually, the problem is heavy traffic. So that's it, okay. And now you want to explain. It's normally congested. What is the meaning of this? When it's congested, it means there are lots of, it's heavy traffic, cars can't move. So it means you are paraphrasing, you are giving another alternative. So that is really, really good. It's congested. So it's normally congested, and we normally late. So it's really annoying to be late for school or for work every day. So, and I think, and due to, and another, maybe you can say another negative point is pollution, especially noise and air pollution due to traffic jam, because you mentioned, so we have noise and air pollution. That is really important. So this is another one, okay? So you can mention due to traffic jam, so of course we have. Well, and tell me, what do you like about the area where you live?
There's plenty of things I love about my area, but one of the most significant reasons, because the reason why I like it, is the friendly neighbor. They're the people, they never hesitate to lend a helping hands whenever our family need help. So being around with that that kind of people make me feel very safe, and I will feel that every time I need help, there will definitely be some people will help me to.
Yeah, very good. So having supportive, friendly, and welcoming neighbors is really good. And living in a safe environment. So another one, so you are living in a safe environment and your neighbors are supportive, or you said that they are ready to help. So whenever I feel like I need help, they're ready to help. So they're really supportive, friendly, welcoming or hospitable. So we have another one that, you know, for example, when you go somewhere, they're happy. So if you visit, for example, your neighbor's houses, they're really happy to see you. So we can say they're welcoming. And how might overpopulation affect city life in the future? So what do you think about this one?
Mm, Nowadays, the cities have been like affect a lot about pollution, such as air pollution, noise. So in the future, I think it will mm, continue having these issues if people don't change their habit about how they're like what they do in their daily, such as mostly in people in Vietnam, we we throw trash all over the street, so making the street very
Polluted, dirty.
yeah.
So very dirty. If it's very, you can say filthy. Filthy means very dirty. And they litter everywhere. Litter everywhere. It means throw rubbish everywhere. So you don't need
Hmm.
to say throw rubbish or garbage. So just they litter.
Hmm.
So it means, so you can say, and of course it makes the city and the street filthy, you know, very dirty. So it's not really good. Okay. Well, and so you said that we will, okay, we will continue, we will be having, so why not? We can use future continuous, so why not? We will be having these problems, these issues, we will be facing these issues in the future. So why not? So you can use continuous form because you said continues, or you know that we can say keep. We will keep having facing these type of issues, problems, and we need to find a way to tackle these issues, to solve these issues and problems. We need to deal with them, deal with problems. We need to tackle. Well, and tell me about public transport. How popular is public transport in your city?
Um, it used to really popular, but nowadays, in people in my generation prefer to using like their private vehicles or book. It's not like book Grab. It's really popular in Vietnam. Like it's same as Uber,
Of
and
course.
I think it's way more convenient for people having like busy schedules, and because it's way more quickly,
Yeah.
and yeah, and it would save like plenty of time.
Of course, very good. People who, so it's not to have here, for example, people who are busy. Okay, so you can use this one. That is really important. And you know, we have a verb here. When you want to say that people who travel regularly every day, a distance between work, home, home, work, home, school, school. So you can say when they commute. So commute is a verb that means to travel regularly distance between, for example, work and home. Of course, we do it every day, school and home. So of course we do it. So it's really easy to commute. So by, I don't know, Uber or, for example, public transport, but people don't tend to use. And tell me what type of public transport. For example, if you have bus, if you have tram, if you have subway, it's not bad to be mentioned here. Well, and uh, why is it important to look after places of natural beauty? Why? We need to conserve our nature.
I think is I'm sorry, I don't really understand this question.
So it's like, you don't think about this one, natural beauty. So we have green spaces, right? We have nature, actually. We have parks, and we need to take care of. We need to protect them. We need to conserve them. But why is it important to conserve the nature? So of course, you know that nowadays, due to over construction, overbuilding, we have less green spaces than before. It's like, everywhere is apartment building, building, building. So we can see green spaces as enough as before. So this is the meaning of this question. Why is it important to protect these green spaces?
Well, due to the um like due to the technology developments and economics, like nowadays people build up like plenty of buildings, and there's people don't really care about natural place such as park or forest. Well, I think it's really important for people to do it, to take care of it, because the green space is where we provide oxygen. And if we are losing that space, the human life will become it will become a trouble for our future.
Yeah, very good. It will be, yeah, in trouble. So let's see. Maybe human will be in deep water. To be in deep water means to be in trouble. So we will be in deep water if we have nothing to do about our nature. And I do agree with you, because you know that you said oxygen, I say fresh air. So we need to breathe. Of course, uh, we have green spaces, and they are our attractions. They are natural attractions, but over construction, building a lot, overbuilding or construction. Due to over construction, unfortunately, we have less green space than before. And of course, we have less fresh air. So, and I think the condition will be worse so than before. And we will be in deep water if we have nothing, or if we do nothing about this problem. So this way, one idiom and two tenses. So the structures, and your answer is completed now. And do you often visit parks in your city?
Well, actually, no, because um, park nowadays are really boring for me. There's nothing to do at a park. Um, I remember that I used to go to park when I was young, uh, because I usually have a dog, and I usually take take him out for a walk. But after that, I don't do it anymore, and there's nothing to do. And actually, in my cities, the park is really not a popular place for teenagers. We'd rather to go to malls or other like modern buildings for to have fun.
Of course. Well, so that was a good answer. Now let's change it a bit. So let's make it a bit better. So you said that yes, you want to say that you feel actually parks like boring. As I told you, don't use park again. If I were you, I would say, I'm not the one. I'm not the one for example, recreational areas or for recreation. What is that? Recreational areas means parks. Every public place that people go and people use for recreation, for having fun. So that is, it can be pool, it can be park. So I'm not the one. I'm not into going to the park. I'm not I don't like. I'm not into going to, for example, the parks and, having fun in recreational areas. So I'm not into means I don't like.
Mhm.
And now you want to say that in the past you did, but now you don't. I know it's difficult, but you can easily use used to. I used to go since I used to take my dog for walk every day, but now I don't. That is, I used to. The best structure to talk about something that you did in the past regularly, but now you don't because of any reason. So I used to take my dog for a walk every day or on a daily basis. Oh, every day. Why not? I say on a daily basis means every day. On a weekly basis, every week. On a monthly basis, every week. So, every day. Okay, this way you can make your answer. I used to take my dog, but after that, of course, no. So now I have a lot to do. Every day I need to study, so I have a really tight schedule. Yeah, strict schedule, tight schedule. I have a lot to do every day. I need to study, so I can't. Right?
Mhm.
Okay, now let me play. Now we're gonna listen to actually three candidates answering these questions, the same questions. Let's see. Okay, they do something wrong. So let's see what is that. Okay, one moment, please. Okay. Number 6. Okay.
Track 6. In this first part of the exam, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about where you live. Do you live in a house or an apartment?
Apartment. It's a small apartment in the center of my hometown, but it's still bigger than the apartment I live in now. My apartment now is just one room, really. I used to live in a huge apartment, but it was my parents' apartment, and it was time for me to go to university. I left, found a place, and that's the apartment where I live now.
What do you like about the area where you live?
I used to live in Guangzhou, the capital city of Guangdong province in southeastern China. Once an important stop-off point on the maritime Silk Road, Guangzhou maintains to this day its importance as a major port and transportation hub.
Do you often visit parks in your city?
Actually, I have gone to my local park last week. I've really enjoyed it. I have a friend. He never been to my town. So yesterday, we have decided to go together next week. We will go on next Tuesday, I think. As soon as we will finish class, we will go.
Well, so the first one. What was the first question? Do you remember?
Do you live in a house or an apartment?
So first of all, let's write the questions. Okay, just one moment. So the first one, do you live in a house or an apartment? The second question was,
What do you like about your area?
what do you like? Yeah, and the third one?
Do you often visit parks in your town or city?
Do you often visit? Okay, now. Okay, if you were examiner, what would you think about these answers? What would be wrong about these answers?
I don't think they're just using the basic vocabulary.
So okay, so let's talk about them one by one, okay? So because they are the problems that you may face. I want to play it again, and then I pause one by one and we discuss them. The first one, listen carefully and let's see what the problem is.
Track 6. In this first part of the exam, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about where you live. Do you live in a house or an apartment?
Apartment. It's a small apartment in the center of my hometown, but it's still bigger than the apartment I live in now. My apartment now is just one room, really. I used to live in a huge apartment, but it was my parents' apartment, and it was time for me to go to university. I left, found a place, and that's the apartment where I live now.
Okay, what's the problem? I can say that I hate the word apartment. How many times? So did she use like apartment, apartment, apartment? So this is the problem. Do you remember that I told you we have different alternatives because in order to avoid repeating, we don't want to repeat the same word again and again. It's not good. So this is the most important problem about the first one. So it's like, I don't know, I didn't like the answer. So of course we have nothing to say about the accent because it's not important at all. So the first one, repetition. And the second one, actually, I don't know, I didn't like, for example, she should have used like, I don't know, eat, one, something else, not apartment, apartment, apartment. It was too boring. Now the second one.
What do you like about the area where you live?
I used to live in Guangzhou, the capital city of Guangdong province in southeastern China. Once an important stop-off point on the maritime Silk Road, Guangzhou maintains to this day its importance as a major port and transportation hub.
Okay, what do you think about this one?
Is he answering incorrect?
Of course, another question. Yeah, actually the answer was good, but for another question, not for this. The examiner asked what you like. I was like, okay, just some information about the city. Totally, another word. So of course it was wrong. So we need to use relevant words. Relevant words to the topic. Not just, talking about the only thing that was relevant was the name of city, just that. And noddles. And the next one.
Do you often visit parks in your city?
Actually, I have gone to my local park last week. I've really enjoyed it. I have a friend. He never been to my town. So yesterday, we have decided to go together next week. We will go on next Tuesday, I think. As soon as we will finish class, we will go.
So what's wrong with this answer?
Is the same as the second one.
No.
I
Grammar.
mean,
Definitely wrong grammar. From the beginning to the end, every structure that she used was wrong. For example, we have gone and yesterday we have decided. Yesterday you decided. What is that? We have decided present perfect with yesterday. And that was totally wrong. All the structures that she used. So grammar, vocabulary, and of course, unfortunately, repetition. Okay, so they're the problems. Well, okay. Oh, we have part 2. So you know that this one is cue card. Well, so just let me ask you something. Jesse, it's like we can keep going with this one. Am I right? You said Jesse, right? Because I want to
yeah.
be sure. I'm getting old, you know? Sometimes sometimes I forget. Okay. Well, so that's perfect. Uh, we can keep going with part 2, or let me show you something. We can keep going with this one. You know that actually Baron's essential words is one of the most important vocabulary resources that we use for IELTS test. It's so advanced. I can say very too much. Sometimes we're like, ooh, it's too much, but it's a good one. Now, let me show you just one moment from the beginning. Okay, for example, Unit 1 is about the natural word. We have some words and definition. Now, it's your choice. You can keep going with this one, learn some new vocabulary, or no, keep going with the rest of your speaking. It's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you like?
What do you think? What do you think? Which one
Okay,
is
let
the
me say,
best?
if you feel like, because sometimes you feel like that, okay, I learned too many maybe vocabulary, now I don't want to learn more. So I say that, okay, so please quit this one because it's not good. Because already there are lots of new words and definitions. So if you feel like that, no, you are learning some vocab, so let's keep going with that one. If you know I'm not in mood to make my answer for part 2, let's move on to this one. So, but it's your choice. I think because this is the first session, I don't want to make you tired, maybe. So let's keep going with part 2. Let's make our answer. Then at the next session, I will give you some alternatives from this book, okay? Wow. So this is your cue card. So as normal, you have 1 minute, just think about it and then make your answer. Let's see.
Can we start now?
Okay, very good. All ears. Okay. Let me have my pen to make some notes, and then let's get started.
Go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me tell you a place that I would like to visit in the future. Well, it is called Sapa. It's located in Vietnam. It's in the north, Vietnam. Well, it's a charming town with the beautiful views like high mountains and a large fields where we grow rice. I think it's a perfect place for it's a heaven for natural lovers. And in the future, I hope I can visit it once because this is one of the most beautiful natural place that in my countries, and I have never been there before. And in the future, like about mm, when I 21 or 22 years old, I hope that I can travel there with my best friend. Um, because since we were young, we have always have a dream about traveling with each other. So Saba is a perfect place for visitor to go there to enjoy the province and the atmosphere. And yeah, and I heard that before is the cultural and the local food is very amazing. So I'm a food lover, so I hope to try and explore different type of food.
Yeah, of course. Very good. So you're foodie, really? That's really good. Okay. First of all, you've done?
No,
Yeah.
actually.
You want to continue? Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. So sorry. Keep going.
Oh no. I don't know why, but it's like there's some time that I speak very well and I'm fluent and I use like plenty of vocabularies, but there's some day that I don't know what happened to me and I
No, it's
cannot
really
speak.
normal. Actually, I know that you have very good vocabulary, so don't worry about it. So I know, and that is really normal because, especially when that is the first time you're talking to someone and, it's like, I don't know, we can't get what we want, like a bit maybe stressed, like if I can make it, it's completely normal, so don't worry about it. I know. And first of all, let me say your answer was really good. What I liked about your answer, the most important, was the way that you made it. You were like really comfortable. I like that. And that is the key. I really liked it. So you were really confident. You were talking about something. Yeah, some words, they can be changed easily. So why we're here to improve it. And I know, don't worry, you know, I've been teaching English about 15 years. So yeah, yeah, as I told you, I'm getting old. Yeah, so it's like when my student, the first sentence is enough to understand, okay, if my student knows, have or no. And so don't worry because I know that you have enough. So maybe a bit challenge with grammar because you have but you don't like to use. So you tend to use simple structures because it's actually your comfort zone. It's like, it's better to use, but you are great. So don't worry. So you said that, first of all, I like it. The beginning was really good. And actually to describe that city. So if you want to talk about the nature, but of course you talked about the nature. So there are some words that you can use. For example, I don't know, it's breathtaking, very beautiful scenery. So for especially if it's mountain, I don't know, of course, it's not bad. And I don't know, nature, pure, picturesque. So everything about attractive, captivating. So there are different words that you can use when you want to say that somewhere is really attractive to you. It's breathtaking, it's picturesque, very beautiful, extremely beautiful nature. So you can use. And the structure that you use when talking about you, when you would like to, you use past simple to talk about future. So this one. And you can use turn. I'm planning to travel when I turn, for example, 20. When I become 20, turn 20, of course, I will try. So I'm planning. So this one. And the next one that I can say about here, about you said about best friend, I can say that that was good. That was not enough. It was for part 2, it was too short. So we need to expand it a little bit more. So for example, how, of course, I have no idea about the place that I want to go. Just, I know maybe, maybe some, I don't know. I have some offers from different countries. Maybe I will visit. I'm not sure, of course. Well, let me talk about, as you said, or actually to tell you the truth, I have a lot of pictures, I don't know, of different cities all around the world. I don't know where to go because, I'm passionate. If you like traveling, for example, I really passionate about traveling, passionate, so it's okay, you can say. And especially, I'm into ancient and historical places. So I think the first, maybe, for example, country and the first destination would be, I don't know, Egypt. Greek, I don't know, Greece, or I don't know, for example, these countries. I think Egypt has historical places. So, and why? So as I told you, there are different reasons. There are varying reasons. I don't want to say different. I find difference basic. So I say there are varying reasons. Varying reason to, for example, visit this city, okay? So the first one, and one of them, and maybe the most important, is actually, I don't know, it's fusion of ancients. And, it's like, it's really, we can say breathtaking, historical, and, ancient architecture. And I'm really into, and for example, I'm a big fan, for example, and I'm really passionate, I'm really interested in different, which one you want, okay? And so I think that is really a good place, and I think it's really suitable, and it's really good place to visit for me. So that because I think that ancient historical places are considered as heritage, something that actually came from past, and you can learn a lot, people who lived in the past. This is part 2. Okay, and for example, who you would go with? Actually, I'm not the one for traveling with people like best friends, and I can say that I'm a bit introvert. So I don't know, I would prefer to travel alone. So I don't know, I would prefer to do every activities just solely. I don't want to say alone again. So I say solely means alone. So maybe I would travel. I'm not sure about it, of course. Now I have no idea about my partner. But for now, I think I would travel alone, because I want to experience this extremely exciting, interesting, amazing trip alone. That is, it's done, it's finished, okay? No, really, I want to say that you don't need to use really complicated or a really challenging words. 1 or 2 idioms, or for example, just 1 or 2, and just try to speak naturally, and that's it. It will be your answer. Well, and now let's listen again. Listen to the answer to task card in exercise 5. Okay, does the candidate cover all prompts in equal detail? So what effect would this have on the score? So let's see. 7.
Track 7.
So, I'm going to tell you about a town in the Lake District, which is a beautiful region in the northwest of England, pretty close to the border of Scotland. There are dozens of fantastic little villages and towns there, but the one that tops the rest is called Windermere. It sits on a huge lake and is surrounded by hills, trees, and rocks. I've been lots of times already, and I can't wait to go back. As soon as I finish the second semester at university, I'm going to head up there again. Being far up in the north, as you can imagine, it can get pretty cold in Windermere, particularly in winter. Too cold for some. Having said that, there's a real stark beauty to the town at that time. When your breath comes out like mist and the streets get white with the snow that falls. Summer is the opposite extreme. It can actually get pretty warm. Comfortable enough to wear just a t-shirt and shorts, but if you wanted to visit at that time, you'd have to get yourself prepared for all the tourists. Other times, autumn is pretty, I've been told, but I tend to visit in spring. I go every year. Just me. I have to say that I generally prefer not to go with anyone else. For one thing, you can make friends really easily if you stay in a hostel. There are young people from all over the world who make it their mission to spend a few days or a week there. As I say, it's an ideal place to go hiking or hill walking, so that's the priority for me and for hundreds of others. There's also a really interesting variety of independent local shops, selling everything from cheap souvenirs to galleries full of extremely expensive art. When I go back, I'm going to do what I always do. Browse through the shops after a long day walking in the countryside.
Well, what do you think about his answer? Tell
Make
me.
me kind of sleepy.
So, first of all, the time actually, I think that it was good. Let me say, I liked the way that he answered the question. I liked it because actually he talked about all the points, and I liked it. And good range of vocabulary. I liked it. That was really good. And the only point that, in one part he spoke briefly, that is not matter at all. I want to say that, as you can see in cue card, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts sometimes. Okay, so you need to talk about every part, so your answer should include all parts. But maybe you don't want to talk about this part a lot, but you want to talk about this part more. So it's okay. It doesn't affect your score. So it's normal. It's just you need to organize. So you answer and cover all the parts. But the problem was about time. So we have 1 to 2 minutes. It was about 3 minutes. So you will be interrupted, like, it was good, but too much extra. So, I could imagine the place, like, okay, let's go. It was really good. Well, okay, my dear, do you have any questions related to this part 2?
No.
Of course, we will do something. I will send you after the class. Of course, if you have time, I know that's now you every day needs to go to school. Maybe you don't have enough time to practice, but it's not bad to do whenever you have time and you're free. I will send you some questions. Just think about them. If you have time, it's good to write your answer. Then I will check and I will correct them for you if needed.
Or I
And
can record it.
Yeah, of course, perfect. If you can record that, that's really good. So that's really good.
I think I will record it and write it down.
Yeah, very good. Because, some students feel like, a bit uncomfortable when talking, so they don't like to record. But of course, why not? That's really good. It's better, even it's better. So do this. Okay? Wow. And that will be great. Just not this one, another one, maybe similar, but another one. So it can be, you can choose. I think it's not bad to, because part one is really easy and you can easily make your answer. It's about you. But part three, it's a bit challenging because it's, that abstract questions, not really direct questions. So maybe part three. Well, let's do this part. Okay. Listen to a candidate giving good answer to part 3 questions. For each answer, 1 to 5, choose the corresponding questions A to E. Which one? Okay, and write the letter. So let's see what it is. Ready? Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Track 8. Answer 1.
For a number of reasons. Often I think because they are exhausted. Capital cities in particular can be very demanding places to live. The noise, the traffic, the cost of living. And people often grow tired of all that. It's just too over the top for some. They start to feel drawn to the peace and quiet that rural life might be able to give them. Generally speaking, though, I do think that it's the case that younger people, people like me, are more drawn to that vibrant city lifestyle. As soon as you get older and have a family, you start thinking it's time to move.
Answer 2.
Well, one possibility that I can foresee is that buildings will keep getting taller and taller. This has been going on for some time, all over the world, and so many people now are moving to the city. Unless this changes, we're going to need more and more homes for everyone. We might even see a 500-story skyscraper one day. That might sound ridiculous now, but cities are likely to keep expanding at the rate they are currently. So there will be no other option that I can think of.
Answer 3.
Oh, I think that would be a bit of a disaster, to be honest. Insisting that everyone uses public transport could create more problems than currently exist. Fine, if you were just visiting the city, it probably wouldn't bother you too much. But if you were a resident there, then again, the streets would be safer for pedestrians, and it might do something about the levels of pollution. I do think it is bound to happen, to be honest. So, as long as people are happy to use buses and bikes instead of their cars, life will continue as normal.
Answer 4.
I can understand why people want a huge, old-fashioned house. In a similar way to living in the middle of the bright lights of the big city, there's something quite romantic about it. Having said that, I do think it depends on your age. Most people of my age, for example, prefer the idea of coming home to a smart, modern apartment every day, high up in the sky, overlooking the city. Well, it just sounds amazing. Providing I make enough money, I'll definitely be on a top floor myself one day.
Answer 5.
Well, in the old days, your whole life was in one place. You married someone from the same town, you had a job in the same village, and your family stayed around you. In some places, life is still like that. People only need to go next door or downstairs to see their parents, for example. But after people were given the opportunity to move around from one town to another on trains or even aeroplanes, the traditional family unit started to change, I think. And people are now much more spread out. Not just nationally, but internationally. By the time I'm a grandparent, I think it will be even more different.
Well, so let's see. Wow, the first one. Do you remember the first one? The
1B.
answer. Perfect. 2.
E.
A, very good. 3.
A.
Good job. 4.
C.
Top notch. 5.
B.
Very good. Excellent. Just. We heard this phrase 2 times. So let's talk about it because that's really important. And that is, so having said that, do you know the meaning of this? Having said that. Do you have any idea about the meaning of this phrase? Because, you know, we heard actually previous candidate and this one, they both used. And do you know why?
I think I know it, but I don't know how to explain it.
Of course, I know it's really difficult to explain what you have in your mind, but let me clarify it, just, you know, it's really important. So you know that people use, when people say, having said that, actually they're going to say something that will contrast or will disagree what said before. So we can say, despite what has just been said. Despite what has just been said. So this is having said that. Okay. Well, and now let's keep going. Okay, let's see what we have. Well, now again, just we have read questions A to again and read scripts. So we have scripts on page. What was each question asking the candidates to do? So it's like really easy. You don't need to read it. Discuss with, okay? So you know that, for example, which one make a prediction, which one compare and contrast, or consider hypothetical, unreal situation, and suggest cause and effect, analyze past and present. So now you can see, of course, the questions, okay? Now you tell me which one was asked to make a prediction, you think? Let's see. To make a prediction.
A.
Of, no, look. In the future, what you predict in the future.
Oh, yeah.
So this is compare and contrast. Let's see, compare and contrast.
C.
Perfect, yes. And then consider a hypothetical situation.
A.
Of course, yes, we have second conditional. So of course. Well, and suggest cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
Yeah.
E.
Cause and effect. So why? What is the cause? What is the reason? So decide to move from the city. So cause. So this one, D. And analyze past and present, of course.
B.
Before and now. Okay, well, very good. Okay, so my beautiful Jessie, it's your time. So if you have any questions, any issues related to this parade?
No.
Okay, very good. And first of all, it was really good time with you. I really enjoyed. Thank you for being perfect. And don't forget, you're really good at speaking. pronunciation, and answering the questions very well, so don't forget about it, and you will get really high score. Trust me, you will get a really high score, especially in speaking. I can't say anything about all the skills like reading and listening. Of course, they're easy. I'm sure about you. So I believe in you. Just keep going, and thank you so much. Have a great night, and see you at the next session.
Okay. Thank you a lot.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.